Hello and welcome to another of my videos. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to do the 3 steps of this cable. So at the beginning, and then it's a 14 row pattern to create this cable. So I'll show you how to do the initial part of the cable, and then that will be every first row of that pattern. Which is a C4B, so they're using 4 stitches to create that. And then we will be doing throughout the actual cable itself a mixture of the T3F and the T3B. So the F and the B stand for front and back, so it depends where you're actually moving your stitches, whether you're going to move it to the front of your work or to the back of your work. So I will show you the initial first row here, and then obviously because it's a 14 row pattern, the first row will be here and then so on as you work up your piece. So I will show you how to initially do this cable. So I'll be showing you the C4B on this part. So I don't tend to use a cable needle. I use one of these or anything to hand really that's quite short, and I don't really like the ones that are shaped because it just is, for me personally, it's a bit pointless trying to manoeuvre stitches off and on the cable needle. So as long as this is bigger than your needle size, than your stitches, you should be fine. So they don't normally move off of this part of this plastic, so it's pretty good, does its job. So I will show by starting off by knitting 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to be doing purling 5. So there is actually 2, 4, 5 pearls already on this part. So I'll be purling right up to the actual stitches that are on the cable. So I'm going to purl this 5. Stitches are a little bit tight on the previous row. Right, so here obviously my videos are like you should be able to do your main knitting, and it's just that maybe the cable is a little bit elusive to you. So for the C4B, we're going to it incorporates 4 stitches, but these 2 stitches we're going to move to the back. So I'll slip them onto this plastic needle, and then I will drop them to the back of my work. So here I need to knit these 2. So I'll bring my yarn back around so I can actually do those 2. So these are at the back of our work, and then we're going to knit these 2 stitches. And then the 2 that are on this needle, I'm going to slip back onto my left hand needle. So it's a case of just popping them back on without splitting those stitches. So it has twisted it, so you can see at the back it's actually twisted. So this part of the cable will then carry on over this side, and then this will tuck underneath and then carry on over to the left. So I'm going to knit those 2 stitches now. It can feel a bit tight, but you need it like that really, so that there's not too many gaps. And then I'm going to purl the 5 that are on this side. So I need to bring my yarn back round so I can work those. So it's 5. So I can show you that cable again, part of the cable. So I'm going to then knit this part. So I've got to knit 5 again. and then purl 5. So obviously you'll be following the pattern that you've been given, but then when we get to when it says to do the C4B, then this is what you're doing. So again, we're going to bring these two to the back of our work, so slip them onto there and then drop it to the back, and then I'm going to knit the next 2 stitches, and then I'm going to pop those 2 back onto the left hand needle. So however you want to do that, whether run it around the back or around the front, but we're going to do that and then bring that out. Then we're going to knit those 2 stitches, and then I'm going to carry on with my pattern. So I hope that helps you, and then I'm going to I might show you how to do the next part of the cable. So I'll pause the video and then I will finish my row, do the reverse row. So on the reverse you just knit whatever knit stitches are there, purl the purls to the end of the row normally on that row. So I'll pause it here and then I will get to the next part of the cable where I can show you the T3B and the T3F. Right, so I've done the wrong side row now. So on this 3rd row of the 14 row pattern, you can see where it's actually like crossed back over. So we're now going to be doing the T3B and the T3F, and it's a case of that you're just moving around these purl stitches to then sort of pop them in the centre as it sort of grows outwards. And then I think it's roughly at row 9 on this pattern in particular, that the T3B and the T3F swap round, so you end up doing the T3B first, T3F first and then the T3B to make it then coming back in, so you're basically then putting those purl stitches back on the outside. So I will show you how the T3B and the T3F are done. So I will do the knit and the purls. Right, so I am going to purl 4 stitches. On the pattern it says to purl 4, not 5, because we need that purl stitch before our knit stitch to move to the back to then be able to place it in the middle. So I will show you. So I'll purl 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to use, you can use your cable needle or anything that you can work with. So that last purl stitch we're going to move to the back as it's T3B, B for back. So we're going to take that one off, and as it incorporates 3 stitches, it's just the one that goes to the back at this moment. And then we're going to knit the next 2 stitches, which is part of that cable. And then we're going to pop that purl stitch back onto the left hand needle, and then we're going to bring our yarn around so that we can then purl that stitch. So we're going to leave our yarn here, because what the T3F wants us to do is take these 2 off and bring it to the front of our work, and then we're going to purl that next stitch, and then that moves that purl stitch into the centre. So we will take the next 2 stitches of that cable and bring it to the front of our work, and then we're going to purl the next stitch and then pop those 2 back on to the left hand needle, and then we're going to knit those 2. So we need to bring our yarn back round so that we can knit those next 2 stitches, and then I'm going to purl the 4. So as you can see, now we've got those 2 purl stitches in the middle of these two sets of knit stitches, and then that will, as your rows go on, that will increase. So I will show you that again on the next cable. So I will knit the 5, and then I'm going to, got a bit tangled here with my ball, so I'm going to purl the 4, 2, 3, 4. Then we've got that last purl stitch which we are going to move off and then to put to the back, and then we're going to knit the next 2 stitches from the cable. That's 1, 2. Then bring that purl stitch back onto the left hand needle and then purl it. So those are the 3 stitches that are involved in the T3B, and then the 3 stitches that are part of the T3F, bring those 2 off onto our needle here and then bring that forwards and purl that stitch. Then we're going to bring those 2 stitches back onto the left hand needle, and then we're going to bring our yarn around to then knit those 2. Then I can do my last 4 purls. So that is the T3B and the T3F for this part of the cable, as you're increasing that shape. I hope that helps somebody. This cleared it up for you a little bit so you can actually see it being done. So thank you for watching, and see you at my next video.